Hello, welcome back. In this video, I want to discuss the Devastator as well as showcase the build I've been working on for a little bit of time here. The timestamps will be provided below if you do not want to hear my opinions on the shitty Devastator class that is absolutely the worst class in the game. You can disagree, that's fine. If at any point in time you like this video, feel free to click a subscribe and come back, watch another one to make me feel better about my life. The Devastator is the third character I have been working on in Outriders. I have a lot of fun making new characters, testing new builds. That's sort of what I do. I have a lot of videos on my channel showcasing builds. I love the tinkering, said it before. That's what's kept me hooked. That and the absurd low drop rate of the legendary Manbaria items that we so richly crave. Aside from that, I love the toying and messing with new stuff. Making new characters in Outriders is a lot easier. For anybody new, you can simply mod items on your main character with whatever mods you want, send them to the stash, and break down those items on your new character. That means when you make a new Toon, you can have any tier 3 mod your heart can dream of. It makes it much easier when you can just slap on a bunch of tier 3 mods and blow through the game and get to challenge tier 15, so you can really test a new build with your new character. This portion of Outriders is by far the smartest feature. If I had to regrind all of my mods just because I started a new character, I would probably kill myself. Now, some people want to complain that you should have everything unlocked on all of your characters. Those people are 100% correct. That would make a lot more sense than having to do the dash switcheroo, but it still works and it's very easy to do. With all of that said, none of the characters have given me such a tough time as the Devastator. I literally cannot imagine the frustration of trying to play this character on day one as your first guy going through the game. I will never forget my two boys on PC were playing together, and VZ, shout out, love you buddy, he was starting on a Devastator. He's like, this class is going to be so powerful, I have to play it. I thought he was right. The demo, the Devastator was broken. Holy shit, I have never heard two men complain so much with both of their clothes on in my entire life. I remember him basically being reduced to tears at the sight and sound of birds on every single one of the expeditions. And now I understand why. I thought the Pyro was bad. The Devastator and birds do not mix. Mother of God, it is the most awkward experience of all time. Compound that with the fact the build I was looking forward to most trying out was going to be a DPS. I know, right? Shocking, a DPS build in an Outriders endgame build. A DPS Devastator build utilizing the statue set and a bunch of bonuses from the top and middle tree to make you have tankiness as well as a shitload of weapon firepower. Unfortunately, the statue set is is broken, and I could not make a DPS build work without the bonus of rounds. You really need that bonus damage from the statue set. Without that, I felt my firepower was far too anemic, and I did not have any crowd control like the Technomancer, who also has toxic rounds that can literally melt brood mothers in one burst from the Inferno Seed. The problem is, without speccing into a ton of the middle tree, the Devastator is actually pretty squishy, just like all the other characters. That means you have to use Golem, which, okay, fine, but then you are limited in your offensive abilities with your other skills. Really butthurt about that. I can't say it enough. The statue set does not work. So tilting. You put the beautiful stats up there, bonus 100% weapon damage when you have this set, and then it says, nope, we actually don't want to work. Just like the Borealis Monarch set, except on the Borealis Monarch set, guess what? The Technomancer does like millions of damage with no help. You can do anything. I literally did a video with no tier 3 mods with the Technomancer on a CT15 gold. Okay, good luck with doing that with the Devastator. For some reason, whatever the reason is, I don't know, you tell me, the Seismic Commander set is the rarest shit in this game. What is that? What is that? How? Why? Why that set specifically? When I was doing videos and looking on Facebook and checking comments and all this stuff, people are like, where do you find this Seismic Commander hat? Where's this hat? Where's the Seismic Commander hat? I can't find it. I've done 10,000 fucking tier 15 expeditions. I can't find it anywhere. Where is this thing? I don't know. Does it exist? Can anyone confirm it? I didn't get it, but now I get it. I want that hat. And to me, what's most frustrating is that I was like, oh man, rubbing my hands together and licking my lips. That tier 3 mod on that hat must be so dope if that's what everybody's getting a boner for trying to find. Try to keep the hype up. I was like, I don't even want to Google it. I don't want to see what this is. And then I cracked last night as I was in bed, and what the hell? That tier 3 mod isn't even that dope. I thought it'd be like bonus damage or something. So I went to YouTube, as I'm not prone to doing it, looking at other Devastator builds, and everything I saw was about just as mediocre as I had expected. Yes, some people have good Devastator builds. Yes, some people have 6 setups where they're doing the meta perfectly and they've got this the skill down because they've been why weapon swapping since day one, because all you can do with the Devastator is run triple moaning winds and make everything bleed from your earthquake and your radius from the Golem. I cannot believe that this is how you need to play this guy. I just am so disappointed. I think if you make the statue set work, then you have a viable DPS, fun to play option with decent sustain, and you can utilize the Golem Rising tier 3 weapon mod to give your Golem refills. I learned that. That's pretty cool. Put that weapon mod on and you get kills, and it refills the time on your actual Golem. So that's pretty fun. But guess what? It doesn't matter because the firepower is so pathetic without the 100% buff from the statue set. Don't even try it. I was so looking forward to that, doing the boulder dash here, boulder dash there, boulder dash everywhere, a boulder dash, and no, didn't work. I will say the tankiness provided by the Golem is really fun. The Devastator absolutely can be very fun to play. The playstyle of the tank is awesome. It is just unfortunate that in this game, no one gives a shit about a tank. No one cares about anything besides your raw, massive, just mastodonic dong. I mean, firepower and your DPS. Also, this explains why in the beginning of the game, before people had super dope bleed setups, everybody was kicking Devastators because, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they were just useless. Combined with the fact that the squishy glass cannon builds could just cheat with the fucking Golem glitch on the emergency stance, means that those Devastators truly were useless. It's crazy. And now it all makes sense. You don't know how green the grass is on the other side until you try and play a Devastator. If you haven't done it, I would suggest building a Dev and having fun to see just how bad you can truly be at this game after just owning everything with your OP ass Techno or your Pyro. I haven't tried the Trickster yet. That's next. I pray it's not any worse than this Devastator, but that seems like it will be impossible. When in doubt, put the blue rounds on and shoot things right in the balls. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go over this boring ass bleed bullshit meta build that I've been working on. The gear is absolutely not optimized. For anyone who skipped my Devastator rant in the beginning of this video, welcome. An interesting thing happened between my first recording this morning and playing this afternoon. I got insanely lucky, and some of my opinions on the Devastator have slightly changed because I received a legendary from the loser box. That's right, I got the Seismic Commander boots from a loser box after sucking out on an expedition. I cannot believe it. It really made this build feel more comfortable. Let's go over how I'm making the Devastator work, skills, the class tree, and the gear utilized. For our skills, we are going to utilize Earthquake, Golem, and Impale. Impale is pretty much irrelevant, and I would recommend using either Tremor for more sustain or Gravity Leap for some improved mobility, but you'll see the gear in a sec, and that explains why I'm stuck with the skill for the time being. For our class tree, we're going to be focused primarily on the bottom tree. Nothing crazy here, maxing out as much of our bleed potential as possible. There are some nodes you can change out for increased armor and sustain, and you could also put some points into the middle tree for more max health or health regen, but I do need to point out we want this skill in the middle here, which buffs our melee to increase our resistance piercing, which is very helpful. For our gear, we want to be utilizing Death Shield, and the Anemoy Fortress on both guns is super helpful for increasing the damage of moaning winds. This is why we want to use it for both of our weapons, and also to have moaning winds on our pistol as well. We have invested heavily into making our Golem ability very powerful and our primary and only source of bleed besides our melee. We could conversely spec out of the bleeding radius and put bleed on Earthquake. You have 3 charges if you're running this setup of Earthquake, so that is entirely viable. However, I enjoy the bleeding radius buff from the tier 1 mod because we have so much bonus damage to bleed with our set bonus. I want everyone to bleed all the time. I'm up close and personal anyway, and if I'm not up close and personal, that is because my Golem is on cooldown, and I am getting the hell out of there regardless, so I'm not really in the mood for attacking. As mentioned earlier, we are running Impale primarily because I messed up my chest piece, and I'm never going to find another Seismic chest, so I'm stuck with that mod. It's totally your decision how you want to build your character, but I would recommend not doing what I did and getting rid of that stupid Impale mod on the chest, leaving the tier 1 mod that increases the range of your Earthquake on there, because it is actually not that bad. Impale is basically worthless unless you spec into it. It is convenient occasionally when your Golem's on cooldown and you can confirm a kill with it and get that bonus armor and health regen, but other than that, it is nowhere near as useful as the mobility of the Gravity Leap. This build is definitely still a work in progress. After I got the loser legendaries from that box when I died on Coliseum, it really changed the game. Having 3 charges of Earthquake is super fun. As I mentioned during my rant, the Devastator is very fun to play. He is just nowhere near as powerful as the other characters, in my opinion. Your mileage may vary. You probably have a doper setup than I do, and I am going to continue to tweak this build for a few days, probably do another video on Tuesday about it, because there's definitely more potential in here. I just get very frustrated knowing that there are so many viable options with the other classes, and until they fix the statue set, which I saw in the patch notes today from Reddit, they are working on it. It apparently has a bug where it's only effective for a few short seconds, and that is not supposed to be the case. But until they fix that statue set, there's simply no way you can make a DPS build work again, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to click a like, click a comment, click a sub. I love chatting. Comment. I respond. I promise. Until next time, we out.
Tiago, the monument's clear. I got the pot.